as it takes. We'll be picking up balusters and spindles made of zirconin umberwood.
I thought the old Duke Theodanis outlawed umberwood export to protect the trees.
I can't keep track of all the decrees. My client's refurbishing her gazebo, adding an exotic southern touch.
I don't get it. When I went to Dunwall, I brought back a River Crush shell to use as an ashtray. Because it reminds me of good times. But what's the point of buying wood from a country you never visited?
Lady Shersha has money, so she gets the wood she wants.
Conservatory. Built around the time I left for Dunwall.
Poor Lucinda. She wanted to raise the blood briar, but cannot. After trying to make gravehounds for weeks, she gave up. You should have seen the twisted things she made. All snouts and teeth and tails.
That's just the way it is, dear Parmelia. Delilah wears the outsider's mark, and some of what she can do flows down to us.
It doesn't seem fair.
Think about working your fingers raw, weaving nets, or raising cows to slaughter. Any of the gifts we receive is better than living under the boot.
That's true and fine. A wise way to look at things. But it won't help Lucinda rise any higher in Delilah's favor. I know money, and that wasn't it. Mommy feels better. The fresh air really helped, and the calendula flowers. Where am I going to get that? Maybe the incantation will work with just a little muck from the street. Throat feels a little scratchy. Maybe some steeped borage and chamomile will do the trick. Favorite when she sees what I can do with a bit of cat fur and a bone from a drowned man's leg.
She was growing sick with consumption when Delilah's magic called to her, saving her from an early grave.
I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't.
Pushed out into the harsh world, you are alone, but for a few hours. This one spends her days drunk, and took to the bottle even before she saw her first moon's blood.
Looking at her old journals in the Forbidden Archives. She's going to be cross.
I only had a bit of a peek. Brianna was busy with something elaborate just before Delilah came to Karnaca. I wanted to know what it was.
I'm teasing, Tamina. I read it too. Do you think Delilah really could have done that? I've heard the same stories about Paolo the Howler.
What you've heard about Paolo is not the same. He's a street orphan, full of tricks. But I have faith Delilah could do such a thing.
Coming back? It doesn't seem possible, that's all.
My dear Orlando, some people see doors where you and I only see walls.
Thrice, that's the part I always mix up. Tap the whalebone thrice, not twice.
despairing sisters home at night and calls to her from the roof, slowly driving the woman mad.
Like whenever it involves missing sleep, they always...
In her early days, she knew only pain and abuse. Her bond with Delilah changed all that and let her escape that life. She felt Delilah's call, but stayed in her village for another month, raising grave hounds and killing those who would slight her.
Sometimes you have to learn to say the words and say them just right. Otherwise the spell won't work, no matter how many goose feathers you've gathered.
Worth nothing. She'll say whatever she thinks they want to hear. A petty thief before the coven, and still she cannot help herself. The magic makes her crimes bolder. She desires to make a gift of your spleen, to deliver it to her beloved mistress with a lock of your hair, and 3 small stones.
Jindash. I'm told he's a gibbering idiot now.
I don't know, Delilah. Forgive me.
No, my dear. It's a loss. But I doubt he had anything more to give us.
Sokolov was taken away as well.
Who would want that ancient fool? Never mind. How goes the communion? I am hungry to whisper into the ears of the oracular sisters.
My influence grows. Last night, I walked through a dream with one of them, and we drank from a fountain in the town where she was born.
Vice Overseer Burns' suspicions were right.
His business with Jindash won't affect things.
No. He continued to tinker with the lenses. Thicker, thinner, more opaque. It was tiresome to watch. I still have the old lenses and cast-off parts piled in my workshop, but Jindash finished some time ago. The rest is up to me, learning to use the machine. A tricky thing, touching the void through such a device.
Blood and biscuits. I look forward to using it myself once you're ready.
Will you visit soon?
Perhaps. Dunwall Tower is mostly in hand. The High Overseer won't be a problem anymore. And there's the matter of my own project. I grow more excited with each brushstroke. When I come to Karnaca, we'll drink an ocean of good wine and stay tight as a boiled owl.
I look forward to it.
For now, I need your eyes on the Duke. At least until we have the sisters under control. There's no one else I trust. I'll reach out to you again on the morrow. Farewell.
Goodbye, Delilah, my empress. What in the world?
These odd lenses might be linked to what Ashworth is working on. If I can sabotage Ashworth's communion device, she'll be powerless. Looks like Kieran Jindosh made these alternate lenses for Ashworth's device. Now I can use them to sabotage it.
I meant nothing to my fine family. Beyond an advantageous marriage and years of childbearing. They promised me to a man 3 times my age who wheezed on about our wedding night. But a curious thing happened on the way to the altar, Delilah. From the first time I slipped out of the manor in the dead of night, there was no returning to my cage. Looking at the stars and drinking wine on a rooftop, I was free. Instead of seeing the overseers for marriage, I visited my father's banker and raced away from my old life toward Delilah. Those were the Coven's glory days. Didn't imagine that. Someone there.
hours before dawn. Former milkmaids, magistrates, come before me and bow. For I am Delilah, your queen.
All hail Delilah. The moon in the sky and the mist lying over the lake like a blanket.
Amelia, dear, if Brianna hears you and her mood is off, you're going to lose an eye making fun like that.
She's only having fun, Francesca. And Brianna's too busy with the communion to be bothered. She's got her mind on the Sisters of the Oracular Order.
Yes, because otherwise the Abbey will see us all blackened by fire. Now stop with this nonsense.
Once called Copper Spoon, now Coldwin. My name is Delilah. I've bested the infamous royal protector and ousted his brat daughter to take her throne. Now come and let me bathe in the warm waters of your adoration.
Our Empress, the source of our strength and freedom.
You're a fool to ignore my warning, Amelia.
Who is this addressing me by a false name? Cast her out of the city into the wilds. Or better yet, put her on a ship bound for Pandysia.
Brianna was with Delilah when you were sucking on your mother's tit. This is not a game to them.
Oh, fine. I was just bored.
I miss the days before Delilah sat on the throne. There was always some barrister to torment, or some dock crew to lure her into an abandoned warehouse. Those were good times.
To die here, whoever you were.
I meant nothing to my fine family, beyond an advantageous marriage and years of childbearing. They promised me to a man 3 times my age who wheezed on about our wedding night. But a curious thing happened on the way to the altar, Delilah. From the first time I slipped out of the manor in the dead of night, there was no returning to my cage. Looking at the stars and drinking wine on a rooftop, I was free. Instead of seeing the overseer's marriage, I visited my father's banker and raced away from my old life toward Delilah. Those were the Coven's glory days.
Ashworth's journal might tell me more about why Delilah can't be killed.
Artist of sorts, bone and skin stretched across canvas, with pigments coaxed from blood and hair. Brianna Ashworth. She is the curator at the Royal Conservatory, but she is something more. She moved to Brigmore Manor with Delilah and the original coven in the year 1836. A curator by day, hosting aristocrats, but she has many secrets. 16 years ago, it was just Brianna Ashworth and Delilah when they founded the coven together. There's something she made from whale bones, more powerful than a simple charm. They wanted to duet that wheezing old man, so she ran away, ran to Delilah. Loyal to Delilah after death and across all these years. Delilah's arcane bond is strong with this one. Many of the powers manifest in Ashworth. She is a player in a game of power and magic. All the world will change if she does her part. Ashworth comes from old money, but she hates the aristocracy as much as she hates anyone. After Delilah's return, women from all over the Empire felt the pull of Delilah's power, coming to join them in Karnaca. She wants to reach out to them, to the sisters of the oracular order, to whisper into their dreams. Sometimes, she remembers being with Delilah at the old Brigmore Manor, outside Dunwall, in younger days. Her family would have forced her to marry that pig. She ran and never looked back. You pressed me for more, but I have already told you about her.